Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I proceed towards the next keynote presentation on MDM on Cloud of India. And we have our next keynote speaker, Ms. Kathy Shaffer. Ladies and gentlemen, Siemens Vice President, Product Management of EnergyIP Portfolio Siemens. She is a utility industry and technology professional with 25 years of vast experience. She leads a portfolio of an innovation, customer-oriented product designed to lower the cost of ownership, reduce time, enable utility to effectively utility meter data to streamline their operations. I hope the speaker is ready.
Yes, hello, thank you.
Hi, over to you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Well, let me go ahead and further introduce myself. I appreciate the introduction, but by way of a little deeper introduction, my name is Kathy Shaffer, and I'm the Vice President of Product Management for the EnergyIP portfolio at Siemens. I've been working with utilities and technology for 25 years now, specifically with utilities looking to incorporate new technologies into their business operations. Over the past 25 years, I have seen a lot of changes in technology and a lot of changes in the utility industry as well. Utilities are changing the way they manage their technologies and even the way they think about technology. One of these changes is a movement from on-premise deployments of software to cloud-based solutions. I'm here today to talk about what we have seen at Siemens as it relates to our meter data management product, EnergyIP, and the movement to the cloud. At the end of the session, there will be time to ask questions. So if there's questions, please go ahead and log them into the chat feature, and the moderator will ask if there's time. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation here. Thank you for enabling that. And we'll
You can see now.
Okay, great. Thank you for confirming. Okay, let's get there we go. So many utilities have already made the investment into advanced metering infrastructure and have either rolled out their smart meters or have a plan to roll out their smart meters to their entire customer base. But are utilities getting the full value from their AMI investment? The amount of data received from these smart meters is tremendous, and it can cost a lot to store and manage that data. Over time, technology changes, and business needs change as well. Utilities need to ensure that their applications are keeping up with these changes. And this is important for a couple different reasons. First, underlying technology components go out of date and can be exposed to security vulnerabilities. There is an increased risk of exposure by not updating your technology. Second, new enhancements and functionalities are added to applications to address the changing needs in the market. And these changes are added to the most recent versions of the application. So in order to take advantage of these new features and functions, utilities need to stay current on their release schedules. A full-featured MDM will really help the utilities get the most out of their AMI investment. The primary purpose of EnergyIP as a meter data management system is to ingest data from the field and other sources, process it, and then provide it to end users or external applications when and as needed. When Considering the consumption data that an interval meter sends, in addition to the events and the alarms, it's a lot of data. To realize the value of AMI, one needs to be able to use that data coming in to take that incoming consumption, events, and alarms and turn it into actionable data. The most frequent example and the typical starting point is the meter to cash process. The incoming interval data is processed into billing determinants to support advanced rates such as time of use and net metering. But this is not where the story ends. There are several other types of systems that need and can take advantage of the data coming from the meter. For example, smart meters send events. One type of event that is commonly sent is when a meter detects an outage. The outage management system needs to be aware of outages. However, not every outage event that the meter sends will represent a true outage. Sometimes meters will send an outage event closely followed by a restoration event. These momentary outages or blips don't represent a true outage and may not need to be sent to the OMS system for further processing. The meter data management system can eliminate some of this noise by filtering out those outages that have a restoration event that closely follow. The result is that only those events which represent a true outage are then sent to the OMS. We at Siemens have been in the meter data management business for 20 years. Industry analysts recognize Siemens Energy IP as a leader in the meter data management space. Our team is dedicated to working with utilities and other technology providers to offer the best and most robust MDMS on the market. We keep up with the trends and the regulations within the utility industry and work to evolve our product so that when you as utilities are ready to incorporate a certain new technology or feature, we are ready for you, such as moving to the cloud. EnergyIP is used by over 200 utilities, and these utilities are spread throughout the world. EnergyIP is not a regional meter data management system, nor is it a niche player. It has the global presence that you would expect from a company like Siemens. We work closely with our customers through workshops and user advisory boards to understand what their IT roadmaps are for their smart grid and AMI initiatives. And across the globe, we are seeing common themes and challenges with our utility customers. There are clear trends towards moving to cloud-based solutions based on these themes and struggles. Through our interactions with utilities, we have observed the following. First, the data needs to be accurate. This is especially important for the inputs to the billing process. The data absolutely needs to be accurate for this process. And some utilities struggle with data accuracy and spend hours fixing data quality issues. Second, management of IT systems and staff required to support and maintain these systems can be a challenge for some utilities. The need to keep up with ever-changing technology, compatibility issues, and the constant threat of hackers can create a strain on the technical know-how and resources of an IT department. Third, these enterprise applications aren't something that are deployed once and then you're done. These types of systems require regular updates and upgrades to stay current on versions. The time and the cost for these upgrades can be challenging to budget for. And lastly, as already mentioned, these systems process high volumes of data. This can particularly be a strain on smaller utilities or those utilities with smaller IT departments. Moving from a historical way of working to operations with a fully deployed AMI requires additional demands on IT departments and budgets. We are seeing a shift from traditional on-premise deployments to cloud-based solutions. There are 3 types of deployment models we offer, 2 of which are cloud solutions, namely the hosted managed service model and the SaaS deployment model. We'll start with the on-premise model on the left. This is the most traditional model and one I'm sure you all are familiar with. In this model, a utility will purchase a perpetual license and work with a professional services group to implement the software based on their specific needs and solution on the utility-owned infrastructure. In addition to the upfront purchase of the license, the utility is responsible for an annual maintenance and support fee. This solution works best for utilities with unique requirements or that require customization and are less price sensitive. This approach is the most flexible, but also the most expensive. Procurement, monitoring, and maintenance of the software and infrastructure are the responsibilities of the utility. However, some customers prefer this approach since they have complete access and control of their data and generally budgets and IT staff to match. The middle option is the hosted managed service option. This is a cloud-based option that addresses some of the pain points of the on-premise deployment. In this model, a utility will purchase a subscription to the software and the Siemens hosted environment, which includes the managed services of the software and the infrastructure. The EnergyIP instance is not shared with other utilities, only the utility will have access to it. Similar to the on-premise model, the software will need to be installed on the hosted environment by a professional services group based on the utility's specific needs and solution. This solution works best for utilities with unique requirements or that require customization, and for utilities that want to take advantage of the benefits of a cloud-based solution. The third option is the software as a service option. This is a cloud-based option designed to be a quick and low-cost alternative for utilities. In this model, a utility will purchase a SaaS subscription to EnergyIP, which includes access to EnergyIP, the infrastructure, the monitoring and maintenance, and also any updates or upgrades required. This is a multi-tenant software as a service offering, which is hosted and managed by Siemens on an AWS or Amazon Web Services cloud environment. The solution is predefined and will be configured by Siemens based on the utility's input. Because this is a multi-tenant offering, there is no customization or deviation possible outside of the standard solution. But this greatly reduces the implementation time from around 12 months to 4 months. This solution works best for utilities that want to see quick results and don't have special requirements for their solution. I'd like to highlight an example of one of the cloud-based projects that we have done. At a customer in Estonia, Elektriliivi, we have deployed EnergyIP in the cloud and are responsible for the ongoing maintenance of the application and the environment. The objective of this utility was to reduce their costs associated with meter reading and to reduce their costs of maintaining their existing infrastructure while enabling a flexible solution that will be able to grow with their needs. They chose Siemens Energy IP meter data management system on the AWS cloud to meet these objectives. Although EnergyIP works on all the major cloud providers, we tend to use AWS due to their high security standards and the maturity of their offering. Our professional services team deployed EnergyIP on the AWS environment to support the collection of 730,000 smart meters. There are 32 different validation and estimation rules in use to ensure the accuracy of the data for billing and for other purposes. These are automated rules which are applied to the data as the data comes into the system. To support the meter to cash process, 96 different billing determinants are calculated and then sent to the customer information system for billing. Again, the quality of data here is key to eliminate errors which result in costly manual work. Siemens is responsible for the performance and the availability of the hosted meter data management system on the AWS cloud. The deployment of EnergyIP cloud-based solutions for Electrolevy has resulted in increased operational efficiency through greater data transparency and greater data accuracy, a reduction in the strain on their IT department, and a reliable and secure solution for a critical part of their operations. As seen in the example above, there are certain benefits of cloud-based solutions that can be realized when compared to an on-premise solution. Whether using a hosted managed service model or a software as a service model, a cloud-based solution enables the utility to better focus on operations. The challenges of monitoring and maintaining the application and infrastructure are transferred to Siemens. This also enables a utility to optimize IT personnel and focus on other critical tasks. Costs become more predictable. A subscription model smooths out the payment, unlike in an on-premise model, which typically requires a large upfront purchase for the perpetual license and then a lumpy payment for upgrades and updates along the way. The high security standards and processes in place, both by Siemens and these cloud providers, result in best-in-class security that not all utilities' IT departments can replicate, and this provides peace of mind. All of this together with extensibility can result in cost savings and smoother operations. Using a cloud-based meter data management solution is a way to maximize the return on an AMI investment. While there are a lot of benefits to a cloud-based solution, the software as a service model offers even additional benefits. I'll touch on some of these key benefits on this slide. First, speed. The time to implement is greatly reduced. And this is because it's a pre-built and predefined solution. There's no time-consuming deployment project. Rather, it's a period of configuration and setup. Second, updates and upgrades are included. This is often a pain point for utilities. Upgrade projects can be expensive and difficult to plan with all the other IT and business priorities. Additionally, delays to upgrades can result in software going end of life and also increases exposure to security threats. These pain points are eliminated by the regular updates and upgrades, which are included as part of the SaaS offering. This also helps keep costs more predictable since there are no expensive upgrades to budget for. Third is the allocation of resources. Resources from the business and IT organizations don't need to be tied up in upgrade projects. And with someone else monitoring and maintaining the application and the IT infrastructure, your team is better able to focus on the operations of the business. Over the years, we have observed that utilities are increasingly becoming more and more interested in adopting cloud-based solutions. This is a transformative approach within any IT department. And as this becomes more and more prevalent, the maturity of these solutions and of the cloud-based providers becomes even stronger. The benefits of using cloud-based solutions in general are widely recognized. There's little to no upfront investment in infrastructure. The continuous updates and upgrades of software systems is certainly beneficial. And the best-in-class security and reliability from trusted providers like AWS that have teams of resources ensuring the utmost security possible can generally far exceed what individual utility IT departments are capable of. With over 20 years of experience with meter data management systems, we have seen a lot of changes. The movement to cloud-based solutions is one of the key trends we've seen in recent years, and we are ready for it. EnergyIP has been offered in the cloud as a hosted managed service model for several years, and we have seen our customers benefit from this model. EnergyIP now is offered as a software as a service model, which further expands on these benefits. We view meter data management in the cloud as a low risk, low cost, and low complexity option. All right, with that, I am happy to take any questions that may exist. If there's no questions now or questions come up later, we would be happy to continue the discussion. Our contact details are listed here on the slide. Myself, Kathy Shaffer, located in California in the United States, and Beryl Lopez, located locally in India.
Hi, the question has been already sent to you. Can you please check your chat box?
Sure. Let me go ahead and stop my share, and that way I can see the chat box. Okay. If you could read the question to me, I would appreciate that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, 1 second. All right, the question is, should we invest in Siemens meter data management systems and continue with our customer information system, or invest in our next generation CIS that also supports the new business requirements related to the smart grid?
That's a very good question, and something that I've had a lot of discussion with various people throughout the years. I personally feel that there is a lot of strength in having a separate meter data management system, but one that is fully functional and fully featured. like EnergyIP. Data can come from so many different sources, and having a common collection point and source of truth that can quickly process and sort through the data is really key. And sometimes when what we've seen is that when the function of a meter data management gets combined with other applications, it's not as robust, or it's not as fully functional as it would be with a standalone MDM system. In fact, Gartner just put out a report last year, last December, about meter data management, and they talked about the value of a best-in-breed MDM versus meter data management that are part of other systems. So, good report to check out, and they bring up some good points about the value of a standalone MDM. But yeah, great question. One that we talk about a lot throughout the years.
We have another question as well, ma'am.
Okay, I do see it here in the chat. Is it around, will implementing MDM system add a lot more complexity to an already complex AMI process? Now, coming from the MDM space, I would think that implementing an MDM actually eliminates some complexity. Of course, there's additional complexity with a separate system and the fact that you need, an interface, interfaces in and out to that system. But what the MDM system can do is catch errors early and upfront. So, for example, if you put a meter out in the field, the MDM has a lot of logic based on where it sits between the customer information system and the meter AMI head-end system to detect when there's anomalies. For example, the customer information system may think that the meter has been programmed with 2 channels, or like a register channel and a 15-minute interval channel. But in the field, it was programmed for a 60-minute interval channel. And the AMI system thinks it's doing it right. The CIS system thinks it's doing it right. That error will get caught in the meter data management system because it can see the 2 different sides. So there's additional complexity with having another system to maintain and the integration. However, in the overall business scheme of things, I feel it reduces complexity by catching anomalies and issues earlier and upfront. Okay, the next question I see is, will Siemens meter data management system provide a view of alarms or warnings when devices are having an issue with normal operations? So there are 2 answers to this. First, EnergyIP, the Siemens meter data management system, will receive events and alarms coming from the meter. So if there's an anomaly detected in a meter, it could be low battery, could be a tamper, outage, restoration. If there's something going on in the meter, it will send it to the head-end system to Energy, and then to EnergyIP. We will catch those events and alarms. But if the question is, if it's normal operations and those events and alarms aren't thrown, but something's funny is going on, we do have applications that look for certain conditions and will catch conditions that are going on with consumption patterns, for example, or the cadence of sending the meter reads to the utility. If that pattern is off, there's logic in EnergyIP that will catch those particular cases and alert a meter operator to the fact that, this consumption pattern all of a sudden significantly dropped, and we suspect theft or perhaps something with something not registering right in the meter. Or leak detection for water is another great example. When there's a leak, there may not be an event or alarm from the actual meter, but there could be, based on the consumption pattern, a trigger within the MDMS EnergyIP that will say, hey, this consumption pattern is not right. This is consistent with what we would see with a leak. And so that would, again, alert somebody, an end user of EnergyIP, that there's a condition that needs attention. How effective is, the next question is, how effective is your meter data management in estimating invalid or missing reads? This is an area I feel EnergyIP does exceptionally well. I mentioned earlier that we have been in the meter data management business for 20 years. We have been doing this a long time. And over the course of those 20 years, we have worked on improving and honing in our validation and estimation routines. EnergyIP was built specifically for meter data management. It was built specifically for a mass meter rollout. Some of the other MDMs on the market were built for commercial and industrial customers, and then retrofitted to support the residential mass market. EnergyIP from day one was built to handle all sorts of different validations and estimations. And with that experience, we've really honed in on it. And again, I think it's something EnergyIP does exceptionally well. Next question is, how do you ensure key management and protection from ransomware for your data, I'm guessing, repository? So that's a good question. And the key management system we've seen pop up, it's very regionally focused. So from a product point of view, we have a key management availability that our local system integrators and professional services group can build specifically to their market. Okay, so the next question that I see is, why should we consider Siemens MDM over Oracle and Itron? Well, again, I think Siemens EnergyIP MDM is a best of breed. We are focused on meter data management. It's what we do. We have a team of people largely centered in the US and in India, but also in other parts of the world, like Latin America, obviously Germany, we're Siemens, but a big team of people who are 100% focused on meter data management. That is what we do. We keep our eye on the market, on our customers, and over the 20 years, we have worked to build the best MDM out there. And that's kind of a generic answer. I could go into some specific areas. I think EnergyIP does quite well. I think that might be more specific on the solutions we're talking about. But generally speaking, my opinion is that EnergyIP is the best MDM out there. Okay, next question. Can you elaborate on international standardization like IEC for cloud-based technology? Oh, I'm thinking that this might be the last question that I answer based on the time here. So I'll just really quickly touch on this. We work with various standard boards like IEC, and I think what the other one was called CFA, but there's cloud standard group we work into. A lot of this is to follow the trends of the industry and what's going on to stay current. Security is a big one. We have a product manager dedicated to security, along with some R&D team members who are focused on security, and attending these standard boards and staying on top of that really helps us stay on top of our security requirements for our customers. So with that, I see I'm over time. I really appreciate the questions. These are great questions. And again, happy to continue the discussion later on. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for answering all the questions. We have many more questions we will be sending you across later. Thank you.
Okay.
It was
wonderful.